They were growing faster. Growth has slowed fairly dramatically for them. I wonder what Akamai's valuation is. Because these guys are 2x sales. Margins aren't terrible. They're not software margins. They're more like cloud computing margins. And that makes sense because they just buy a bunch of servers and plop them down across the country. Why is that, Mr. Johns? In their own 10K, they compare themselves to Akamai. Okay, yeah, so they were growing a lot faster, as you guys can see. Oh, maybe my camera's in the way. But as you guys can see, they were growing 17% and 22%. And now I think they're growing quite a bit slower. But they're both CDNs. I mean, CDN is CDN, right? It's okay if you think one is better, but it's still a CDN. At least the company says it's better, but Akamai is not exactly. Nobody's saying Akamai's dead. We should look at Akamai after this to get a real picture. Fastly. Yeah, the slowdown in revenue is a little alarming, but let's read their press release. I'm sure they reported Q4, so maybe Q4 will give us some clues. But here's the most important thing, right? Which is, what are cash flows for the last several years? And a growing company it's okay if they're unprofitable, right? But they're pretty unprofitable. They were pretty unprofitable. I think this year is the first year where they might show some more progress there. And if they can compete with Akamai, then great. Keep these consistent. I like Lantheus. All right, so let's look for the quarterly report. It should be right here somewhere in Business Wire. Almost all the press releases are on Business Wire or PR Newswire. So here's, they do give guidance. They did 140,579. That's lower than I thought they'd do. Wow. So growth is now 2%. Hard to be too excited about that. If they're the new CDN, I don't want the old CDN. Cloudflare's growing a lot faster than them. So I don't know if I'd compare them to Cloudflare. It's kind of ugly. Oh man, look at the guidance for next quarter. Whoa! 136 to 140. Oh man. You guys see this? See this, chat? From 20% growth to 14 to 8 to 7 to 2 and 3. Bro, there's food and beverage companies with more growth than this. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. D-Wave's growing faster than this. This is an Edge CDN tech company. Come on, man. Do something. Do something. What's the guidance for the full year? Yeah, they're saying they'll grow a little better than that. They're saying they'll grow like 6-7% for the full year, but for the first quarter, they're going to grow 3%. So that's what IonQ is doing. They're saying, oh, for the whole year, everything's great, but next quarter is going to be some shit. Don't worry, our sales reps will get it in gear in Q2 and Q3. It's just going to be atrocious for the first 3 months. Oh man, I don't know. In software, you have to grow. You really just have to grow. There's no choice. All right, so conceivably, cash flow for this year was 5? That sound right? No, I need it for the year. Okay, there it is. Okay, cash flow for the year was 16. Not bad. But CapEx was 10, which leaves us with 6 million free cash flow. And it's going in the right direction. But without growth, it's kind of hard to grow that. Even if they make their 7%, which seems like a stretch given Q2 is 3% or Q1 is 3%, it's kind of hard to grow cash flow too much. Yeah, I would avoid this one. It could even be a short, arguably. Unless they have like a master plan for getting growth back, which I'm sure they do. Or there's some really good explanation why growth is temporarily slowed. I don't know. It seems like a real dog.